You have to understand that the masking of children in American public schools will continue until the teachers' unions get what they want. Now, the masking of children in these schools has been utterly absurd for quite some time now, but it is even more absurd in the wake of this Super Bowl, which I know that you have heard this take before, but I'm going to give it to you again anyway. We saw tens of thousands of unmasked people in an arena celebrating together. Obviously, the celebrities, the politicians, all of these people were there partying unmasked. And the very next day, tens of thousands of students in public school systems all across the country, but particularly in California, were forced to put on masks to sort of quote unquote prevent the spread of COVID-19 when we know that kids are not really carriers of COVID-19 like that. Why is this still going on, mind you? Because as the rest of society moves on from COVID and we shift into the post-COVID era that the Democrats are going to usher us into, by the way, because COVID lockdown policies and COVID authoritarian restrictions are not working for them politically. So all of a sudden, COVID is over because they've got an election to try to win. But even outside of all of that stuff, our kids are still being masked, and you have to look to the insane amount of control that these teachers unions have, right? So the teachers unions and Democrats have been in this unholy alliance ever since the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic. They have worked together to basically shut down schools, right? So they stopped in-person schooling. They went to remote learning. These kids have spent the past year to year and a half basically not learning anything, all because some teachers didn't want to work. Some teachers were trying to pretend that their lives were being put in danger by going to school. Remember the body bag stunt where a lot of the people that were connected, a lot of these teachers that were connected to the unions showed up with body bags, and that was supposed to represent all of the dead teachers that would arise should school be kept open during the earlier days of the coronavirus pandemic. Of course, we all know that that was ridiculous. We all know we're all finding out so many things about how we were lied to about coronavirus every single day. But what stands right now is that our kids are still being masked, and they are coming up with all sorts of problems. There have been talk of developmental issues, of speech issues, of cognitive issues, of all of these different things. And if you saw that heartbreaking video of the school kids, I believe that they were in Las Vegas, when they found out that they didn't have to wear masks anymore and they just erupted in joy. This is what we're robbing our children of right now because the teachers unions are making a power play with Democrats, who, by the way, teachers unions devote, I believe, something like 80% of the funds that they donate to political causes are to Democrats. So if you're asking yourself when this masking of children is going to end, if you're asking yourself when is what we are doing to our public school kids going to end, well, it's going to end as soon as the teachers unions decide that it's going to end, and they have to figure out what it is that they want in order to make that happen. So now this unholy alliance between the teachers unions and the Democrat Party is hurting our kids. And it is not going to stop hurting them until the Democrats give the teachers unions whatever it is that they want.